Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on YouTube. Dave here, the garage, Area 51. Gonna have another little crack at trying to tighten up my sort of headlining and this go round. So let's get at it. Okay, so got a little box here and another empty box there, but I bought a little steamer which is over here, this little unit here. So I've already put some water in it and plugged it in, made sure it works. So it works, so well, it makes steam, so whether it works in doing what I want it to do, it's another story altogether. In this box we have a pneumatic stapler, and yeah, hoping that'll make it a bit easier to get in and into there, but I haven't tried that yet. So I'm going to fire the compressor up and fire a few staples around and see how that works, make sure it does work before I go pulling all sorts of things out over there. Okay, so I've got that thing loaded up. First I had it all staples loaded in the wrong place and it wouldn't staple, but works good now. Yeah, boy, just a little trigger pull. It's like none of that. So that's got heaps of grunt. Yeah, boy. Should have bought one of these in the first place, I think. But anywho, let's get over to the old car and the steamer and get organised over there and see what we can see if I can get this headlining a little bit nicer and tighter. Alright, so this side here is not too bad. I possibly am going to be able to just pull this down and re-staple it, maybe give it a bit of heat, stretch it down into here, maybe back to around here and re-staple it. Up here is not too bad, a little crinkle there. This is kind of the worst at the back and around here, and we've got issues over here and a little bit over here. So generally we've got wrinkles in the headliner, headliner, whatever you want to call it. Where shall I start? I wonder if I get up over in here. The thing is, I need to shut the garage door because there's way too much light coming in through that door and I can't see a thing. So I've just got to climb back out of here and go and close the door down a bit so I can hopefully see what I'm doing. Alright, so got to do some de-stapling. Feels like an awfully thick staple. This is going to take a little while because I got staple rage. When I did this originally, I ended up just belting a gazillion staples in here. I don't want to just yank on it and tear shit up, man. Okay, so this is my $50 steamer from Kmart. See how she goes. Definitely warming up. This stuff here is like a weird kind of, it's almost plasticky.
Giving me wind
I think it's a little bit better. Still got to cool off again fully. I wonder if I steam it a little bit more. And we'll let that cool off. While that's cooling off, I might have to start visiting this side over here, get the rest of the staples out of that, loosen it off, and see if I can kind of get that to tighten up a little bit. Yes, again, slightly better in here, but I feel like it still needs to come this way, but then I've got to kind of try and get my pulls kind of more directional. We are got my little bow clip mounts are showing through kind of a little bit off where I thought they would be, like this one, which is, you know, right on it. So, you know, if I pulled that tight and then we pull these this way, it's all gonna go wrong. So I kind of do need to get it to come over this way a little bit. We're gonna have a bit of a thing there. I mean, if I can pull it that way and then pull that down, I might need to chuck some steam in over this area and start pulling it down and hopefully getting staples into the staple tack strip. I keep missing it. I kind of forget where it is and I staple too far back or whatever. But yeah, that kind of is what it is. Haven't really got anything to staple there to. Got a little bit up the top, up in here. I could staple to that because I am going to have to put something up here anyway, like to fill this gap. I've got some more of this material, so I might use that, which will bring it down. You know, just this little bridge between the garnish molding and the windlace. You know what I'm saying? Really hard to kind of get any kind of reasonable light and for, you know, filming on that. So, jeez, I'm trying to get light so you guys can see and so I can see my wrinkles. Yeah, that is slightly better. I mean, I probably could untack here and maybe pull it that way, but then I'll get wrinkles further. So I might just try the old heat through here, through that area, and then try and get it, you know, maybe take those out again. My headline looks like Swiss cheese at the moment. Hopefully there'll be enough material left to actually hold it. Alright, so we'll have another crack at steaming this whole area and see if I can get it to pull a bit more. Hey guys, so it's a little better. I mean, I've still got this here, which doesn't matter how tight I pull it, I can't get enough pull there. Like I said, I could possibly start pulling, you know, detacking this and pulling that way, but I'm not that worried about that. I'm kind of more worried about these two little puckers here, and that's because of these, you know, things. My bow clips, that's it there and that's it there. This one lands right on the seam, which is better, but it kind of is what it is. This one's kind of just off the seam. I've got to figure out now how to unhook this stuff from my tack strip, which is going to be a challenge. I need to put some more staples in. I have it stapled in there, so I can pull that down and get that a little bit. I might just put a bit of a heat in there. Yeah, if I pull that any further, this wrinkle just gets even bigger. But now I've got to stop poking them with my finger, because now I'm getting a mark. When I put the garnish molding on, it does kind of pull on this stuff a little bit as well, so you know, it potentially does tighten things just a bit, just through friction fit type of deal. But yeah, she is a touch better. Yeah, I kind of do need to get that kind of undone somehow. Feels like a one-shot deal, that tack strip. There's no real kind of nice way to undo it, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know, unless I kind of bend it up and then end up taking it all off. It might be the only way, but I'll ponder that. And then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to make a piece that's going to come right up into here. It's only going to be a little bit of something, just a bit of card that I will upholster and maybe glue it or screw it or something. Seatbelt's going to hang down in front of it as well, so hopefully that'll hide some of my sins. Yeah, okay, so we'll carry on. Okay, so I've just unpicked across here, so I figured if I could pull it and then reduce my pull, so put my heat here, stretch it here but not here, you know, that's what I'm going to try. I think this little steamer thing works okay, actually. I want to get a bit of stretch in around this area. Probably should have pulled out those two there. Ooh, hissy spitty noises. It's better, I think. Let it cool down and see what it looks like. Just about done for today. It's, real late start on the day. I was out this morning doing a little bit of painting on I think it's 67, 68 Plymouth Barracuda, just a couple of little logos, and then as a little surprise extra, a little bit of painting on a Little Red Express 78, late 78 Dodge Little Red Express. Guy that I've done a couple of bits and pieces for on his cars. He's just bought this. He just bought the Barracuda as well. And yeah, so he's living his best life while he can. You know, unfortunately, he's not very well, and he's just doing it while he can. So he come across this Little Red Express for sale. He already knew the truck, so he went and bought it. And he's daily driving it, and it's an awesome truck. It's not super mint, it's not restored, it's had a respray at some point in its life. The door graphics were like a kind of printed vinyl sticker had completely faded out. The gold was gone, so we just re-leaded the gold. I should put a picture up like about here. Re-leaded the gold in a very thin gold because we didn't want to have shiny, solid new sign writing on this old paint job of a truck that's had touch-ups and repairs, and there was, you know, scratches and dings. We didn't want to put super clean, brand new, shiny stuff on, so did a kind of diluted gold, thinned it out, and once it's all cured up and dry, he's gonna get in there with the Scotch Brite and just kind of like dust it back a little bit to his taste, to his own taste. So that was a little added extra on my schedule today, but sort of doubled the length of time on this particular, at that particular house doing that work. But it was cool to do. It was a really neat, you know, really neat little truck. He was surprised I knew what it was as soon as I seen it in his shed. And but yeah, I've seen those before, and they were part of the Dodge's adult toys range. Look it up, that's a fact. They called them Dodge's adult toys. They had the, what was it, the Little Red Express, the Warlock, I think, and there was another one, I can't remember the third one, but they're kind of like custom factory custom trucks, you know, like stacks. And the Red Express was a kind of fairly set recipe, but the other two I think were customizable on your tick list from the factory. So they were pretty neat. But yeah, that was really cool to be able to do that for him. Maybe tomorrow we'll be back out here. I'm going to leave it at that for today. Shut it down, let this all kind of cool off and see. Oh, that's heaps better. There's still a little crinkle there and there, but I've got rid of all those ones that were there. Much better. Right, till tomorrow. This little $50 steamer and my, I think that was the cheapest pneumatic staple gun, upholstery gun on Trade Me, and I think this was $68 or something, plus shipping, and then I had to get staples for it. The company didn't actually even sell staples for this particular staple gun, but another company did. $7 for a box of staples. 1,000 of those suckers I've probably already used, about 700. So, choice. See you tomorrow. Gotta wiggle my way out of here. Hey guys, so I think it's the next day from the last time I did any actual recording. Been out and about today, and it's, you know, it's 5:45 in the evening, and I did a little bit in this morning before I went out. Took the old bomb truck out for a bit of a car and motorbike show locally here, and it's quite a good turnout. Mostly motorbikes, not a lot of cars. I didn't do any sort of filming and stuff like that because I just didn't. But I did manage to get all of this sort of unpicked from my tack strip. Took a bit of leverage and whatnot, and I've kind of got it all out, and I've been kind of playing around with how to pull and stretch it and whatnot. Now that this is all kind of dried off, we've still got some wrinkles in that here, and I've been kind of experimenting with, you know, maybe unstapling it back through here and kind of trying to pull it that way. it might get me that little wrinkle there out. I'm just worried that I'll end up, you know, pushing the wrinkle somewhere else. Still got a little bit going on up here, but I've still got to kind of, once I pull that, it might change how that's going on. It's kind of better. This side here, you know, when you pull down, it's not too bad, but you kind of, I'm wondering, like, if I'm stretching it, you know, like heat it and stretch it, what it's actually going to do. Like if I can get it to push up into the tack strip nicely, and will it, when it shrinks back, you know, pull it tight or just pull taut wrinkles into it, sort of thing. So I'm just been doing a little bit of experimenting, pushing and pulling and things like that, see what's all going to happen. And I'm really kind of at the moment none the wiser. So pardon me, yeah, we'll ponder all of this, and might sort of, before I kind of move up into there, I could do either. I don't know. I might do a little bit more in this back corner. That side there is not too bad. I've already kind of been and done some of this. It's got this little bit here and these in there, and I don't know whether if I can get it any tighter to pull it back the way. My tack strip's not that great around the back window, and once the garnish molding screws in, it will kind of hold it a little bit, but I don't know whether it's going to get these out. And you know, I've got both of them here, and this one's kind of exasperated by the bow clip that I made, being a little proud. There's the bow clip there, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. When the light's harsh on it, they're obviously more noticeable, but once you kind of take the light out of the equation, it's not too bad. But I would really like to get this dialed a little bit better and maybe smooth that out a bit before I answered my own question before I move on. So I'll go fire the compressor up so the stapler's all ready to go, and I'll get my little steamer fired up, this little jobby here ready to go. But I've got to unpick a bunch of staples before I do any of that, so we'll be back in a minute. On the other note about our little excursion in the old bomb truck today, I bought a $10 raffle ticket and won a Top Tool 1/2 inch brushless cordless impact wrench. Retail value $450, and it cost me $10, so it's a win. Still haven't checked my lotto ticket, but might have a hoist coming yet. Okay, so I've de-stapled it through to here for now. I might take it a little further just to because some of those staples are kind of barely hanging in there anyway. And because I've gone through to about there, so I might as well pull the whole thing a bit tighter. But I might, just thinking if I go from start about there, pull that across there, pull that across there, I might have to de-staple it a bit further down, but I'll put a bit of heat into it and stretch it out a bit. This thing heats up pretty quick. It's pretty steamy in here pretty quick too though. It's quite warm in here today. The garage heats up when you've got a big cast iron small block shed cooling down in the corner. I've got a stray staple stuck there. Gives it a good clean. Got my stapler out. There should be. Yeah, let's go all the way down. That was a squeak on the floor, not me. Yeah, so I'm probably going to have to unscrew all of those too now. Sorry, looking at the back of my suite. So yeah, I'm missing a bit of tack strip there, which is a pain, but if I can get it come that way, we're probably going to end up with, oh, there's that bit of tack strip, fell out. Yeah, it's a can of worms. So if I undo all of those screws now and pull that way, and then we'll be pulling it down, I can possibly get my new staple gun into that tack strip. So I'll just get all these screws undone. 15 million loose staples, so we're back in a sec. If I actually undo all of those, I might try and get this across here a bit and kind of get it to pull over where I need it to, and then I'll probably try and pull that tight again. So do a little bit of stretching Oh, missed. Oh, that whole tack strip's just broken off. Damn it. Okay, this might stop me in this bit for now until I can glue something in there again. I'll glue that back in. Oh, what a pain. Alright, I'll figure this out and be back in a sec. Okay, so sweating like a sweaty thing in here, but I got a little bit more of that wrinkle out of it. Glued that tack strip back in, and as you can see, like, I just went a bit nuts with the old staple gun. Hopefully the garnish molding will catch all of those staples. I couldn't get in there super, square on, just because of the, it just didn't want to get in there for some of it. I probably could have done those like that. Oh yeah, could have done. Might pick those crooked ones out. But maybe there's getting sparks coming out of this. Anyway, and I managed to get into that tack strip sort of down here. I might try another approach, but yeah, I can't kind of get this in other than on a kind of an angle, which is not really ideal, but it has kind of smoothed things out a little bit. Probably got a little bit more wrinklage in there now. I'm just wondering whether I should yeah, once I do a parcel tray, that'll pressurize that as well. Hopefully not pull that tack strip out of there. But yeah, we kind of smoothed out a couple of things a little bit down the back here. Just like I say, just got a little bit there, still got a little bit over there. Is that all stapled across? Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. But man, it's hot in here. Holy. Bit of anxiety kind of brings up the sweat levels as well. But yeah, whew. So I might leave those crooked staples in there for now, and I'll just see how that molding sort of lands over the top of it. If I need to, I can pick them out, you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I guess I could maybe move on to up the front, or do I leave that for today and go and have a whiskey or something? Because holy cow, it's hot in here. But either way, I'll be back at it after work this week, because I haven't had really any good cracks at this weekend. What did I do yesterday? Oh, that's right, I was doing a bit of sign painting on a couple of cars yesterday, so I was yeah, out doing that. So I didn't have any time to come and play with this like I was hoping to early in the morning, because when it's cooler. Oh man, sweating like a sweaty thing. Yeah, steaming things up doesn't help. But yeah, maybe I'll run a little bit of steam on that, on there, just there, not my arm, and just see whether that sort of shrinks, heats and shrinks that a little bit. I don't think it will. I think I tried that over that side and it didn't really do much, you know, like it just made it baggy and then it just went back to like that. So I think I'll leave that, because when you know, take the light off it, it's pretty sort of minimal. And yeah, and even once we get the parcel tray in, it'll pull it a little bit. That'll kind of pull that a bit out to that edge. It should be alright, maybe. But yeah, God, we've got about 50 gazillion staples that I've put in and pulled out, and if I do any more pushing staples in and pulling them out on this headliner, I'm just going to have Swiss cheese for a headliner, you know what I'm saying. Holy guacamole, Batman, it's hot in here. Holy, do I need to unpick any of the front? hopefully I can get these sides in with just a little bit of heat and then push them up into that tack strip, and then it would be good. That would be good. And then just never look up. Give this a bit of a go. Chuck a bit of steamy on here. See if I can pull this. It's not bad loose, so I don't really want to kind of stretch it too much, you know. Oh, now I can't get the this won't push them in. Oh, I think this is the gods telling me just pack it in for the night. I think it'll. Yeah, I'm done. I'll have another crack tomorrow night. My mum used to always say, never go to bed angry, so I'm still here. Same day. I just want to get it. I've got a little bit going on there, but yeah. So if that comes that way, and when the headliner, the sun visor gets screwed on, it'll tighten it up. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do right there yet, but pull that down, staple it around the corner, staple it somewhere. When the sun visor gets screwed up into there, that will pull that, probably give it a wrinkle up the front, but the sun visor will hide it. It does actually even pull it all that way slightly, so she's pretty kind of close to where it needs to be. When we get up to this bit, we're just going to be making a piece that'll come right up into here. It goes tucks behind the garnish moulding, and hopefully cover up that little cock up with my tack strip on the two-door Fleetlines. It's supposed to curve around this corner a little bit. I didn't know that until after I'd made them, so I decided I'm not going to remake them. But that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I just couldn't walk away. I just couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't do it. And yeah, I've been out in the sun all day and I did not sweat this much out in the sun. It's quite muggy in this little car, even with the windows down. Needs AC. But yeah, so it's this side so far is a little bit better than the other side. This I'm not worried about because, like I said, the sun visor is going to pull that tight. I just need to maybe hammer this down and hopefully, you know, get a little bit more. If I could get that just a touch further in, but probably not going to happen. I need to tuck that little bit in. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right tool, but that's what I'm using. Okay, so a couple days later, kind of got, as I talked about in the last kind of clip, still got a little bit going on there, but that I'm happy with that. This will tighten up as I screw the thing in, as I talked about. Still got little marks there. They might, if I steam a bit more, it might be alright. We've still got to do this side here, so I'm going to kind of run a bit of steam kind of up high in the center and try to kind of sort of stretch it down before I sort of pull it in here. I have to be careful here. I can't kind of go too nuts with it because I'll end up with just more wrinkles there, but I might be able to get some of them back out by doing stapling. I've just picked some staples out of there. It's getting a bit Swiss cheesy. And then yeah, try and sort of pull some of this across somehow. So I'll get the steamer. There we go. It's pretty quick. Okay, so I've unpicked some of that because it was doing some things. I still need to, I don't know how far to unpick it. I'm wondering if I go to about there and then maybe chuck a staple or two in and try and pull it over and down into the A-pillar to try and get this out. Because if I just go sort of down, I'm getting that, and I need it to kind of come down and across, something like that. Maybe I'll try so if I pull it down and like that, hang on, and then that comes down that way, what happens? Oh. Yeah, maybe. Temperatures start to come out. It's been real cold the last couple of days here, so I thought it'd be a good time to get out here this afternoon. I'd rather do this in the morning, but as I said earlier in the video, I sort of run out of weekend pretty quick smart, if you know what I'm saying. So now the anxiety's starting to come up. I started off kind of good, like right there. And I mean, that's still gonna come down once the seatbelt's kind of buckled in and the garnish moulding's on. I think we'll be alright with that, but this is challenging, so I'm gonna find a way to set this camera up and hopefully you guys can see what's going on. It's not just my armpit or the back of my head. Let's have a go. Hold it either side. I needed to come that way. There's a train coming. Maybe I'll give it a bit of heat. Alright, so ran out of water for my little steamer. I reckon if I can pull it over far enough, it might be alright. Hey, okay, so as you may have seen, we've still got a little bit of stuff going on there, but I'm hoping once we get the seatbelt mount and maybe pull that, we can and staple back into that B pillar, we'll kind of get rid of that little bit of a wrinkle. Can't do much about that or that and that. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a pucker there, but the garnish molding is going to come up and grab it. We're still going to see my bow clips, and they look drastic at the moment. I don't really know. I mean, I can't really do much with those. That's the bow clip sticking through. I mean, in theory, this should have all been pulled back this way. I probably still could, but then we end up fighting that again over there. Won't be the end of the world to try it, I guess. Got about 60 gazillion staples in there now, but I could try it. But yeah, I sort of worked kind of too hard to try and get the puckers and wrinkles out of that corner. So if I pull it all back over there, what are we going to mess up? Lots, probably. And then we'll run out of material to staple with if we go too far that way. Harder than it looks, to be fair. But anyway, back to the task at hand. Sort of, if I pull this that way, it's starting to pull that out of there, so I might have to unpick some more around the center of the windscreen, but I don't want to end up with a pucker here that I'm trying to chase back across that way. So that should be alright. And I can probably unpick there and pull that down over there, which might happen yet, but it's getting better slightly. But you know, I've stapled the crap out of the edges of this thing. I've got to be careful that I don't just turn it into like perforated paper and just have it let go. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment, so I might have a crack at that. Alright, so I've unpicked a ways. I wonder if I should take some of that back out. Hang on, take one more staple out. One there. And if I go pulling that from there, it takes a fair bit of that. I wonder if I chuck a bit of heat in around here to let this pull sideways, and then hopefully I'll probably need to pull it a bit further. Hang on, where's my little screwdriver? Okay, so oh yeah, so if I get a bit of heat in there and give it a big pull that way and then chase that across, yeah, hopefully you can see what's going on. Battery's getting low, so I'll get a little bit more stretch out of here, so I can pull it a bit tighter just in this area here, and hopefully when it cools off again we'll be good, as they say. Better, it's still got a little thing there, but that's a lot better than it was. Yeah, boy. So I'm happy with that now. So a few little kind of weak spots or funny spots. I think this is tied up with my tack strip that I made. That's not 100%, if you know what I mean, but we haven't created any extra puckers over here. It's actually really tight. So I might just put a few more staples in around there, just in case I have to pull them out again. So that's how much I've pulled it across. You can see it's probably a good inch and a bit, and that gets those bows kind of lined up with the bow clips better, which is really probably what it needs over there. That's where, I hate to say it, I screwed up by not getting a steamer. So if you're putting your very first headliner in, get a steamer, get a pneumatic stapler. What a game changer this has been. Just being able to go chick-it, and this will get more use in future videos. I'm going to be making my own door cards and hopefully upholstering them as well. Gotta give it a shot, man. Give it a crack, so they say. Oh, look at that. I think that's, yeah, I think my windscreen might be cracked. That's all the way through. It's not just, oh, what have I done? But yeah, so got the worst of that out. Like I say, still got a little bit of something happening there. Obviously that's kind of where the bow is kind of grabbing it a bit more, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy to leave that in that area like so. So there we have it. I'll just chuck a few more staples in here just to, you know, anchor it fully. And do I want to go over there and see if I can pull that, you know, unpick some of the front row here and pull that over? Or am I making, might be beneficial. Okay, so I've unpicked to about there for now. You can see this is kind of pulled up and wrinkled up again, but if I kind of pull that down and across, it sort of tightens up this corner a bit. That could still be tighter going up under my tack strip, but that's the thing, I can't get it super tight in there. I could maybe try, but if I can get that down there like that, I might start with a little bit of heat in maybe this area again, and get a good stretch on, you know, bit of yoga. As you sort of put a bit of steam on these things, it tends to make them look a little more wrinkly than it actually was to start with. But once it cools down a bit, it seems to come on back around, if you know what I'm saying. Exciting stuff. Get rid of that over there. Get the old stapler of guns. And I'm going to do this. Scratch the steering wheel. Good job. Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, so update on this side. Got it a lot tighter in here. It's still got that going on there, which I can't really kind of get out. But again, once I put my visor on, that's going to pull that a bit. We're still going to have this kind of weird bagginess right about there. I'm not kind of really crazy disappointed with that. It, you know, once you're normal conditions, it's fine, you know, better than it was. So we've got a couple of fold wrinkles here. I might try a bit of heat on those and see if I can just kind of iron them out and see what happens. Could potentially de-staple that cluster mess over there. And maybe even pull that a bit tighter, this area here, but then we're going to end up with another pucker here, which could be, you know, would end up like that if I pull this down too much. But a little bit of steam cleaning might be enough to make it, once it cools off, be a bit better. Or I could just maybe unpick the center and sort of pull the middle down, but then we'll get puckers on either side. You know what I'm saying? You're chasing yourself, you're chasing your tail all around the place. But ultimately it's better than it was. It's not perfect, like you can probably tell, like by those things over there that didn't want to work the way I wanted them to work. But it is better overall. It's better on the driver's side in general. Like, you know, we could, the steam doesn't really seem to be doing much to these fold wrinkles, but it might settle in a bit more over time. I don't really know. I have never done a headliner. I've never even had one put in a car by anyone else, so everything I've had either had headliners or, yeah, I didn't care enough to have a nice one in there, you know. But this wrinkle here probably would have been a good idea to sort of maybe steam this or lay it, sort of heat it up before it got put in, you know. But yeah, there we are. Yeah, the only thing I'm really not happy with is that I don't really know what I can do with that. When I was doing that corner, I was trying to pull it over and it did help it a bit, but then it was kind of making other stuff significantly worse. So I don't really know. Just my knees. So I mean, yeah, if it pulled over even tighter, this is going to end up rubbing through, so I'd rather have it kind of as it is. That's what I'm saying anyway. See, look at that, that's starting to tear there. Okay, so looking at it from back here, she's not bad. You know, we've got a little bit going on there and there. That'll tighten up with the sun visor. This side here, from this angle, looks good. Just don't you kind of look at that stuff too much. Probably should have torn away the Hujimi Watson in here, but this thing here is my clip, which is too proud. In hindsight, should have tried to make a more flush thing, you know, but they're in there now and they're staying. So still got, you know, as we pointed out, that little thing going on there. I mean, it feels like it needs to go that way, but yeah, I don't quite know how I'm going to do that. It's a bit grubby up here actually. This thing's been stored for years, so I wonder if this doohickey will act as a steam cleaner. You just kind of clean it, give it a scrub. Don't know, we'll find out. That's my knees. Don't you worry. Okay, so yeah, pretty, just those two bits there, eh? You can, I don't know, there's not really much I can do with those, but that front piece, I'm real happy with that now. That's way better. With every attempt, I get slightly better at it. So, I mean, I could like keep trying to pick it apart and redoing stuff and things like that, but I don't know that I'm going to really achieve much of anything other than, you know, making a gazillion more holes in the edges of my headliner, which is going to make it weak. So we're at apprentice level headliner installation, but I'm kind of getting happier with it, and I'll be, you know, it looks way more noticeable because the light's shining up at it, if you know what I mean. So I might just spend a bit more time with that steamer and just see if I can work some stretch into those, and maybe work the fabric back and forth, just, you know, moving it around and stretching it and seeing what it does, and cleaning off any grubby marks that I've left behind, and then we'll call it a night. So we'll leave it for today, and I'll see what we get up to next. I was hoping to sort of clean up this video during the week, but I don't think I'll get it all done, so I might be back into it on Saturday, and so it'll be a week behind my schedule. I think I've got a couple up my sleeve, so I think I'm alright. Hey guys, so it's a couple of days later, to be honest, to be fair, about 3-4 days later. I didn't do any more during the week. Saturday morning now, I thought I'd come out and kind of just, I was just going to clean up and go done is done, but I got over into this corner again and managed to get those two, oh pardon me, those two kind of main wrinkles out. But as you can see, you can still see my bow clips protruding, which is, there's not a lot I can do about that unless I kind of revisit those clips. But honestly, I don't really want to, because I have stapled this headline all around the edges, and some of it is just like perforated paper now. If I pull on it anymore, I'm just going to tear it up. So that's where I'm going to leave the headline at the moment. I've still got to do some trimming around the edges and sort out this area, but that'll come when I do. I'm going to make a little panel in there, but I need to kind of put the garnish moulding on to kind of figure that out. And you know, the rear garnish moulding around the rear screen, that'll kind of tidy up a lot of that, I hope. Some of my tack strips started pulling away from the body of the car, because it's obviously, that's been stapled about 16 gazillion times as well. Yeah, and you know, things like that are kind of bumming me out a little bit. But as far as the headliner itself goes, I'm really happy with how it's kind of sitting in. Those three kind of bow clips are the only thing that really kind of bum me out about how it's gone in. There's a little bit of a ripple there. I won't even say a wrinkle, it's just a little mild ripple, couple up here, you know, but on the whole it's way better than it was with my first attempt. So that's a win from where I'm sitting, like in the seatless front of the old Area 51. But yeah, so that's it kind of revisited. Next up, I guess, will be, I've got to put the fuzzies and that into the garnish mouldings. I want to kind of put them on, just make sure everything fits as it's supposed to. And yeah, that'll be where I sort of, you know, look at trimming up the remainder of the excess for the old headliner sort of thing around the back. It's to be fair, it's pretty fragile back here, but it is kind of what it is. I mean, you may have to kind of take it out and put new tack strip in somehow. I've tried gluing it back in and stuff, but it keeps pulling free and it's just breaking up. It's that kind of cardboardy stuff, the factory stuff. I'd say it was really, really good like 80 some years ago or 70 some years ago, but it's probably just a little bit kind of over it now. In retrospect, I should have just pulled it all and replaced it all with something new and better, probably better than that foamy stuff that I put on, because that's not really grabbing the staples as well as I would have liked. But it is, and it's holding-ish, you know, so it might end up, you know, driving along and all the things come loose and it starts flapping around and gets sucked out the window and just disappears forever. But it might not, it might be fine. I just don't know whether I'm over-engineering it. Like, you know, I've got 4,000 staples literally in this car. Not all of them are in the car, in the tack strip anymore. A lot of them are on the floor in here because I've stapled and I've picked them out and misfired and missed my tack strip and all that kind of stuff. Trying to do this so I can see where the kind of pre-glue kind of thing would work if you were really confident in getting it in first time, like I wasn't. You know, like I did watch a video a while back. You know, I kind of skipped through a video, to be honest, and the guy had used spray glue around all the kind of openings, sprayed it onto the metal up here, and so he was using that to pull it and tension it before he stapled anything. That would be a good thing to do if you know, were pretty confident, because once you've sort of stapled it and glued it, it's kind of in there. It's not going to be very easy to pull it back and revisit like I've had to do, because a lot of the issues I had with Wrinkles and that was just not knowing where to sort of pull and stretch, and not having my $50 steamer. That made all the difference, even probably more than the pneumatic stapler. Sorry, the light's killing it there. You know, the pneumatic stapler definitely easier on the hands and just like instantaneous, is way better, but that steamer made all the difference, being able to kind of stretch this material, pull it, tack it, and then once it cooled, it kind of tensioned up like heaps nicer. You know, like on the whole, this is the business now. Like even up the front here, fixing up these two corners, I've still got to put the mirrors on. It may even be too tight now for the, not the mirrors, the sun visors, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Can always revisit a little bit. It's not too bad up the front. I only kind of sort of stapled everything twice up there, and not like 40 times down the back here, trying to get these back wrinkles out. But yeah, heaps better than it was last time, and all down to this little $50. Hang on, I just got to unplug it. All down to this little. I got this from Kmart. This is an Anco steam cleaner. There's the model on there. Hopefully you can see it and read it, and it's focusing and all that stuff. Just a little cheapie, but definitely worth the $50 to get my headliner way tighter and more smooth than it was before. It's not perfect by any stretch, but stretch. It's not perfect, but it is like significantly better than it was when I started this video, and I was kind of quite happy with it then, but I thought, I'll give it another go, so I did. Anyway, but that's where I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to have a bit of a clean up, and then maybe get into the garnish moldings and start a new video. I was going to do it all in one, but this is it would probably end up being too long. So this will be hopefully a nice little short catch up on the headliner, and my $50 steamer made all the difference. So that's just a clothing steamer. It's nothing, not a fancy upholstery one or anything like that. It's just from Kmart. But yeah, like I said, that's where we're going to leave this video. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Come back next week, have another look, see, go back through some of the back videos on this project, and there's stuff on the bomb truck, and there's some sign painting and pinstriping stuff. It reminds me, got a little bit of pinstriping to do on that console there. Yeah, subscribe, like, share, comment. That's the washing machine. Just 3. That's my cue to go and hang the washing out. But yeah, so like, share, comment, share it around your mates in the car scene, you know, like let them see what's going on and help me grow my little channel. It's kind of really stalled out as far as growth goes. Well, it's slowly growing, but you know, but to be fair, I haven't really been doing any very exciting videos, so I understand, lads, I understand. Yeah, don't forget dmatcustoms.com, customs with a K, because that just makes it cooler, for all your DMAT Customs merch. Still haven't got around to getting any more designs up there yet, fellas. I'm not working on it. And Instagram, Facebook, on both of those. So until next time, take it easy and peace.